The colony of Vera was far from the shining cities of Earth. It was a place where people lived simple lives under wide skies, with fields stretching toward dark forests and mountains that touched the clouds. Aaron was one of those settlers. He worked in the fields, repaired tools, and spent evenings around the fire with neighbors. Life was quiet, but Aaron always had a curious mind. He often noticed details that others ignored, and this habit led him to see what others missed. In the village, there was a girl named Mira. She kept mostly to herself, helping at the water well or gathering supplies from the trade post. But she never stayed long in groups. People thought she was just shy and no one asked questions. But Aaron noticed things that unsettled him. When she walked, her steps made almost no sound on the dirt paths. When sunlight touched her eyes, they reflected it in a strange shimmer that looked like liquid silver. At first, he told himself it was imagination, yet each day the oddities grew harder to ignore. One evening, while the settlers gathered for a festival near the central square, Mira quietly slipped away. Aaron, standing at the edge of the crowd, saw her leave and felt his curiosity burn stronger. He decided to follow her. The path led through the narrow streets and out toward the forest. The moon was bright and shadows stretched long across the ground. Aaron moved carefully, making sure not to step on twigs that could reveal his presence. The deeper Mira went into the woods, the stranger her movements became. She walked with speed and certainty, as if she knew every stone and root. Aaron kept his distance, his heart racing. At last, she stopped in a clearing where moonlight fell like silver rain. Aaron hid behind a tree, breathing quietly. Mira looked around to make sure no one followed, then raised her hand to her face. Aaron expected her to brush back her hair, but instead he saw something impossible. Her skin began to glow faintly, soft lines spreading across her arms and neck. The glow grew brighter, and her features shifted. Her dark hair seemed to fade, revealing patterns of light beneath. Her eyes changed fully into shining pools, no longer human. The disguise she wore each day melted away like mist, and there stood a being unlike anything Aaron had ever seen. She was tall, her form elegant yet alien, her skin carrying streams of light like rivers under glass. She was not human at all. Aaron gripped the tree, his breath caught in his throat. Every story he had ever heard about aliens came rushing back. Some settlers whispered about travelers from the stars, but most dismissed it as nonsense. Now he was seeing proof with his own eyes. He thought about running back to the village, warning everyone, but something held him in place. Mira, if that was even her true name, did not look like a monster or a threat. She stood in the clearing silently, her glowing form calm and still, almost sad. She lifted a small device from her cloak, its surface covered in shifting lights. Aaron could not understand its purpose, but he saw her hands tremble as she pressed a sequence on its surface. The device projected faint patterns into the air, shapes like maps of stars. Mira traced one of the star lines with her finger, her expression filled with longing as if she remembered a place far away. Aaron suddenly realized she might not be hiding out of malice, but out of fear or loss. The night air grew colder and Aaron stepped back, a branch snapping beneath his boot. The sound broke the silence like thunder. Mira spun around, her eyes blazing with light, and in that instant Aaron felt exposed. She saw him. For a heartbeat, neither moved. Aaron's instincts screamed at him to flee, but his feet stayed rooted to the ground. Mira's glow dimmed slightly as she stared, her expression shifting from alarm to recognition. She knew that he had seen her true form, and there was no turning back. Aaron swallowed hard. His mind raced with questions. Who was she really? Why was she hiding here among humans? Was she dangerous, or was she running from something greater? The answers hung between them in the silence of the clearing. Aaron realized that this single night had changed his life forever. He had discovered something that could alter not only the fate of their colony, but perhaps the fate of humanity itself. The forest around them stood still, waiting. Mira lowered the device, her glowing skin fading as she pulled the disguise back into place. Her voice, calm but edged with urgency, broke the silence. You should not have followed me. Aaron knew then that the secret was out, and nothing in his quiet life would ever be simple again. The forest felt alive with tension as Aaron and Mira faced each other in the clearing. The moonlight touched her shimmering skin, now hidden again beneath the familiar cloak, but her eyes still glimmered with an otherworldly glow. Aaron's heart pounded. He wanted to speak, but words stuck in his throat. Finally, he managed a whisper. I saw you, he said. Mira's gaze sharpened. She took a slow step toward him, careful but deliberate. You should not have followed me, she repeated, her voice soft but firm. Do you understand what you have done? Aaron nodded, though his mind raced. I didn't mean to. I was just curious. I had to know who you are. She studied him for a long moment, as if trying to read his intentions. Finally, she sighed, a sound that seemed almost human in its weariness. Very well, since you know there is no choice but to speak the truth. I am not from here. I am not human. Aaron's pulse quickened. He had already realized this, but hearing her say it aloud made the reality heavier. Not human? He asked. Then, who are you? Mira looked toward the sky, tracing invisible patterns with her fingers. I am Mira. I come from a world far from this one. My people, they are being hunted. I fled to this place because humans are unpredictable. You are not controlled by empires, not bound by fear. You are free in ways that my people cannot imagine. Aaron took a step closer, trying to understand. Hunted by who? The Dominion, she replied, her voice dropping to a serious tone. A government from my world. They capture or destroy those who do not obey them.
I escaped, but they follow me across the stars.
If anyone here discovers who I am, they will alert the Dominion, and then your colony would be in danger as well. The weight of her words pressed on Aaron, his mind filled with images of sleek ships hovering over the settlement. Weapons of unknown power aimed at innocent people. He felt fear, but also a strange excitement. Humanity had faced challenges before, but never one like this. Why are you telling me this? He asked. Why not just leave? Mira's eyes met his, glowing faintly in the moonlight. Because you saw me, and now you must choose. You can keep my secret or tell everyone and watch what follows. If you keep it, I will share knowledge with you. Things your people cannot even imagine. Knowledge that may help you survive in ways you have never thought possible. Aaron felt a mixture of awe and hesitation. Knowledge like this could change everything for the colony, but trust was a fragile thing. And he barely knew this alien girl who now stood in front of him. He swallowed hard, feeling the weight of the decision pressing down on him. I will keep your secret, he said finally. Mira's face softened slightly, a flicker of relief passing over her features. Good, that is wise. Your kind can be unpredictable, but you have courage. I can see that in you. Courage and curiosity are what make humans strong, what make you capable of surviving where others would fail. She gestured toward the clearing, and Aaron noticed a small device lying at her feet. This is a map of my home system. It can show you stars, planets, and energy sources that are beyond your current technology. I can teach you to use it, but only if you promise to protect me. Aaron nodded, his curiosity now stronger than his fear. He picked up the device, feeling its weight in his hands. It hummed softly, reacting to his touch. Light spread across its surface, projecting holographic shapes into the air. Stars, planets, and strange symbols glowed above them. Aaron reached out, his fingers brushing one of the symbols. The moment he did, a small image of a planet appeared, shimmering with blue oceans and green continents. Where is this? He asked. Far from here, Mira replied. Too far for you to reach right now. But one day you may travel the stars. My people have technology that can take you across distances your ancestors could only dream of. But for now, you must learn to survive here with what you have. Aaron felt a mixture of wonder and responsibility. If this girl was right, humans could grow beyond their small world. But the Dominion was real, and they could strike at any moment. He looked at Mira and felt a strange connection forming, a partnership built on necessity, trust, and mutual curiosity. Teach me, he said. Mira nodded and began explaining the device, showing Aaron how to read star charts and identify energy sources. She spoke slowly, her voice steady and patient. Aaron listened, absorbing each word. He realized that humans had a unique ability to adapt, to use limited tools creatively. Mira seemed to notice this as well. She smiled faintly and said, Your people are stronger than you realize. You do not have my technology, yet you find ways to survive. That is why I came here. That is why I chose this world. Hours passed as the moon climbed high, and Aaron learned about the stars, about alien energy systems, and about survival tactics far beyond anything he had imagined. He realized that Mira was offering more than knowledge. She was offering humanity a chance to become something greater. At one point, a sound rustled in the forest and both froze. Mira's hand went to a concealed device at her waist, but Aaron held up a hand. It's probably just an animal, he whispered. Mira relaxed slightly but remained vigilant. She explained that in her world, danger could appear suddenly, and humans must be alert at all times. Aaron understood that this was not only about survival, but about discipline, awareness, and learning to see the world differently. By dawn, Aaron had absorbed as much as he could. Mira, seeing his determination, allowed herself a small smile. "You have potential," she said. "If you continue to learn, your people may stand strong against challenges that no one else could face. But first you must keep this secret. Your knowledge is only as valuable as your ability to protect it." Aaron nodded solemnly. He realized that he was no longer just a simple settler. He carried the responsibility of a secret that could change the future of his colony. Mira extended her hand, not in a gesture of friendship, but as a bond of trust and understanding. Aaron took it, feeling the faint warmth of her glow through her human disguise. As Mira disappeared into the shadows of the forest, Aaron returned to the village. The rising sun painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, but he could hardly see its beauty. His mind was full of stars, strange devices, and the knowledge that humanity was capable of more than they had ever imagined. For the first time, he understood that the quiet life of Vera was only the beginning. Beyond the mountains, beyond the forests, the universe was waiting. And with Mira's guidance, humanity might one day reach for the stars and survive challenges no one could predict. From that day on, Aaron carried a secret that would shape his future. He could not tell a soul, but every step he took, every choice he made was now connected to Mira, to her world, and to the knowledge she had shared. And somewhere in the forest, an alien girl watched, trusting a human to keep a promise that could determine the fate of many. After the night in the forest, Aaron's life changed completely. He walked through the village with the same steps as before, tending the fields and speaking with neighbors. But his mind was always elsewhere. He thought about Mira, the alien girl with glowing eyes and knowledge of distant stars. He wondered if anyone had noticed her strange habits, but everyone seemed to carry on, unaware of the secret hidden among them. The weight of that secret rested heavily on him, but it also filled him with purpose. A few days later, Aaron returned to the forest, guided by instinct and curiosity. Mira waited for him in the same clearing, her cloak blending perfectly with the shadows. She did not speak at first. Instead, she studied him with quiet intensity. Aaron felt that she was judging him not as a human, but as someone whose choices might matter greatly. "I see you have thought carefully," Mira said. Her voice was calm, but there was a firmness that made Aaron pay attention. "Curiosity alone is not enough. You must be willing to act. Knowledge is useless if it is not applied." Aaron nodded. "I want to learn," he said. "I want to understand everything you can teach me." Mira's eyes softened slightly. She gestured for him to sit on a fallen log, and she did the same. The clearing was quiet, except for the soft rustling of leaves. Mira lifted the device she had shown him before. It hovered above her palm, projecting stars and glowing lines into the air. Aaron watched, amazed at the detail. Each light represented a planet, a path, or a source of energy. He could hardly believe that such a thing existed so close to his home. "This device contains more than maps," Mira explained. "It contains knowledge, energy systems, survival strategies, star routes. With it, you can prepare for dangers beyond your world. But knowledge alone is not enough. Humans must learn to adapt, to act with creativity and courage. That is why I chose you. You have the patience to learn and the mind to understand." Aaron leaned closer, his fingers brushing the holographic stars. "How do I start?" he asked. Mira smiled faintly. "We begin with survival. You must understand your world before you can reach for the stars. I will show you how to find hidden energy sources, how to read the land, and how to predict patterns that others cannot see. Humans are clever, but many waste potential because they do not observe closely." For hours, she explained the patterns of the forest, the signs of weather, and the hidden currents of water underground. Aaron absorbed each lesson, asking questions and practicing the techniques. Mira watched him carefully, offering corrections and guidance. She praised him when he succeeded and gently pointed out mistakes. By the time the sun began to set, Aaron felt that he had learned more in a single day than in his entire life on Vera. "Now we move to understanding energy," Mira said, her eyes glowing softly. She tapped the device and a three-dimensional projection of a distant star system appeared. "These energy sources are not like anything humans have seen. They are stable, powerful, and adaptable. With them, you could improve your colony's life, your crops, your machines, and even your defense systems. But you must respect them. Energy is not a tool to be taken lightly. It must be studied and used carefully. Aaron nodded, fascinated by the shapes and lines floating in the air. He traced them with his fingers, feeling the faint hum of power that responded to his touch. Mira explained that every source had a pattern, a rhythm that must be understood before it could be used safely. She showed him how to detect these patterns, how to interpret them, and how to store energy without causing harm. As the days passed, Aaron returned to the forest regularly. Each time Mira revealed more. She taught him about star navigation, about the way her people used light to communicate across great distances, and about survival tactics that required sharp observation and careful planning. Aaron realized that humans had an advantage she admired: creativity. Unlike her people who followed strict rules, humans could invent solutions in moments of need. One afternoon, while examining a stream in the forest, Mira paused. "Aaron, I must tell you something important," she said. "There are those who hunt me. They will come sooner or later. When they do, you will need to make decisions quickly. Humans can survive not because they are strong, but because they think differently. Your ability to adapt will be our greatest strength." Aaron's mind raced. The Dominion was not just a threat to Mira. They could threaten his entire village. He realized that the lessons were not just about knowledge, but about responsibility. Humans could face challenges that no other species could if they used their intelligence and courage. "Can the village help?" Aaron asked. Mira shook her head. "Not yet. They must not know. If the Dominion learns of my presence, they will not hesitate to strike. We must prepare quietly. You will need to teach others indirectly, without revealing who I am. Humans are clever. You will find ways." The bond between them grew stronger. Aaron began to see Mira not as a stranger, but as a partner. She was cautious, but she trusted him enough to teach secrets that could change the future. In turn, Aaron felt a responsibility to protect her, to use the knowledge wisely, and to prepare for challenges that might come at any moment. One evening, as the stars shone brightly above, Mira led Aaron to a ridge overlooking the colony. From there, the village looked small, almost fragile, surrounded by forests and mountains. Mira pointed to the horizon. "Your people are like this village," she said softly. "Small yet full of potential. They can grow, they can adapt, they can survive, but they must be guided carefully. Knowledge is power, but understanding is wisdom." Aaron looked at her, feeling the weight of her words. He understood that the path ahead was not easy, but it was important. He had been given a chance to learn, to grow, and to protect both Mira and his people. He felt a sense of purpose he had never known before. Mira noticed his determination and nodded. "Good. Remember, Aaron, every decision you make matters. Every choice can shape the future. Humans are remarkable because they are unpredictable. That is why I chose to come here. That is why I chose you." Aaron stayed on the ridge until the moon rose, thinking about everything he had learned. He knew the knowledge Mira had given him was only the beginning. The real challenge would come when he had to apply it, when he had to prepare his people without revealing the secret of her identity. As he walked back to the village, Aaron felt a mixture of awe, responsibility, and excitement. Humanity had potential far beyond what he had imagined, and he had been given a glimpse of it. Mira had shown him that survival was not only about strength, but about intelligence, creativity, and courage. From that day forward, Aaron worked in the fields, repaired machines, and lived like any other settler, but he carried the secret and the knowledge in his mind. He practiced the lessons Mira had taught him, experimented with small ways to improve his life, and observed the patterns of the land and sky with new eyes. Mira continued to meet him in the forest, teaching more each day. Aaron realized that humans had a remarkable ability to adapt and solve problems in ways no one else could. With Mira's guidance, he was learning to harness that ability. He understood that the true strength of humanity was not in weapons or numbers, but in the mind, in the ability to think, learn, and act in ways that no one else could predict. The forest became a place of learning and strategy, where every rustle, every shadow, every star above was a lesson. Aaron knew that one day the Dominion might arrive, but he also knew that humanity could meet challenges head-on, using knowledge, cleverness, and determination. Mira had given him tools, but it was up to humans to use them wisely. As the days turned into weeks, Aaron began to see the world differently. Every tree, every stone, every flowing stream held information. Every night sky held paths and possibilities. And somewhere in the forest, Mira watched, trusting a human to carry knowledge and protect a secret that could change the future of both their worlds. From this point forward, Aaron's life was no longer ordinary. He had entered a world of possibility, of knowledge, and of responsibility, and he understood that humanity, when guided by wisdom and courage, could face even the most impossible challenges with strength beyond measure. Weeks passed since Aaron first learned Mira's secret. The colony of Vera continued its quiet life, unaware that a hidden danger was approaching. Aaron moved through his daily routines with a new sense of purpose. He tended the fields, repaired tools, and spoke to neighbors with the same friendly smile. But in his mind, he was preparing. Every action, every observation, every decision now carried the weight of the knowledge Mira had shared. One morning, while repairing a water pump near the forest's edge, Aaron noticed something unusual. Strange patterns of light flickered in the sky. Unlike the normal twinkling of stars or the passing of distant satellites, he squinted against the rising sun and felt a chill. Mira's warnings echoed in his mind. The Dominion was tracking her. They were coming. Aaron rushed into the forest to find Mira. He moved carefully, avoiding the twigs and branches that could betray his presence. When he reached the clearing, Mira was already there, her eyes reflecting a mixture of concern and determination. "They are close," she said without preamble. "The Dominion has followed the signals I left behind. They know I am here and they will arrive soon." Aaron felt a surge of fear but also resolve. "What do we do?" he asked. Mira lifted the device that projected the holographic star maps. "We prepare. We must hide my presence and we must protect the village. If they find me, the entire colony could be destroyed. Humans have something they do not expect: creativity and unpredictability. We will use that to our advantage." Together they devised a plan. Mira showed Aran how to create diversions, how to mask her energy signature, and how to manipulate the terrain using simple tools and materials that humans had. Aaron realized that while humans lacked the advanced technology of the Dominion, they could be clever in ways that machines and strict rules could not anticipate. Over the next few days, Aran moved quietly through the village, preparing without alarming anyone. He reinforced buildings, disguised paths leading to the forest, and left subtle signs for Mira to follow. He also began teaching a few trusted settlers simple techniques to improve their defenses without revealing Mira's identity. They learned to notice patterns, to hide resources, and to communicate silently using signals only they could understand. One night, under the cover of darkness, Aaron and Mira observed the first Dominion scouts from a ridge above the village. Sleek silver ships hovered above the trees, scanning the ground with sharp beams of light. Aaron's heart pounded, but Mira remained calm. "Stay focused," she whispered. "Watch, learn, and remember. Humans can survive not by strength but by using their minds." The Dominion scouts descended closer, searching for any sign of Mira. Aaron and the settlers used the knowledge Mira had shared to create decoys, shapes in the forest, glowing signals in false directions, and hidden shelters that confused the alien sensors. The Dominion struggled to interpret the signs. They had advanced technology, but they lacked the adaptability of humans. As the scouts searched, Aaron noticed subtle signs that Mira had taught him: patterns in the wind, changes in the shadows, and the sounds of disturbed animals. Using these cues, they moved silently, guiding the Dominion's forces away from the village. Every step was calculated, every action deliberate. Aaron realized that the settlers, though ordinary humans, could be formidable when they used their minds and worked together. By the third night, the Dominion had brought more ships. Their beams cut through the darkness, searching for Mira with relentless precision. Aaron coordinated with Mira, sending signals to the settlers and arranging obstacles that slowed the alien forces. Trees were felled to block paths, rocks were rolled to create noise and confusion, and hidden pits disguised by branches diverted the scouts. The humans worked as a team, unseen but effective, their creativity turning the forest into a maze that technology alone could not solve. During one tense moment, a scout ship hovered directly above Aaron and Mira. The light scanned the ground, almost touching the hiding place where Mira crouched. Aaron held his breath, counting the seconds, and then used a small reflective device Mira had taught him to redirect the beam toward an empty clearing. The scout followed the light, leaving them unseen. Mira's eyes glimmered with approval. "Clever," she said softly. "This is what humans do best. You are unpredictable, resourceful, and quick-thinking." The battle of wits continued for several nights. The Dominion underestimated the humans' ability to adapt, to observe, and to improvise. Aaron and Mira moved silently, coordinating with the settlers, using simple tools in extraordinary ways. The alien forces became frustrated, unable to predict the humans' movements. Each night brought new challenges, but each night the humans grew more confident, more skilled, and more united. During a brief moment of rest, Aaron and Mira sat on a ridge overlooking the village. The stars reflected in Mira's eyes as she spoke. "Humans have something rare," she said. "You are not bound by rules, not limited by strict control. You see possibilities where others see only obstacles. That is why I chose this world. That is why I trust you." Aaron felt the weight of her words. The villagers remained unaware of the danger, yet they were part of a struggle far greater than themselves. He realized that the human mind, combined with courage and ingenuity, could rival technology that seemed invincible. Mira had given him tools, but it was human creativity that made those tools powerful. One morning, the Dominion decided to escalate. Larger ships appeared in orbit, scanning the terrain below with precision. Aaron and Mira worked tirelessly, using everything they had learned. They coordinated with the settlers to create complex patterns of false signals, hidden shelters, and decoy energy sources. Every action was designed to mislead the Dominion, to protect Mira, and to keep the village safe. As the final night approached, Aaron and Mira stood together on the ridge. The Dominion ships hovered above, their lights cutting through the darkness. Aaron felt fear, but also determination. "We can do this," he said. Mira nodded. "Yes, humans can survive when others fail. You have courage, creativity, and the ability to think beyond limits. That is why I trust you. That is why we will succeed." The humans moved with precision, executing the plan they had practiced. The Dominion ships scanned, probed, and searched. But every trick, every diversion, every carefully placed obstacle misled them. The alien forces became frustrated, unable to anticipate the humans' actions. Aaron watched as the Dominion's leaders communicated through signals he could not understand, realizing that their advanced technology was being outsmarted by resourcefulness and clever thinking. By dawn, the Dominion ships began to retreat. They had failed to find Mira, confused by the humans' tactics and unpredictable actions. The village remained safe, the settlers unaware of the danger that had passed so close. Aaron and Mira watched from the ridge, exhausted but triumphant. Mira turned to Aaron, her glowing eyes softening. "You have proven what I believed all along. Humans are remarkable. You are clever, resourceful, and strong in ways that even the Dominion cannot predict. This victory is yours, and it is only the beginning." Aaron felt pride, but also responsibility. The secret of Mira's identity remained safe, and the village had been protected, but he knew the Dominion might return. They would need to remain vigilant, to continue learning, and to be ready for the challenges ahead. As the sun rose over Vera, Aaron realized that the true strength of humanity lay not in weapons or numbers, but in intelligence, creativity, and the courage to face the unknown. Mira had taught him that humans could survive, adapt, and even thrive in the most impossible circumstances. From that day forward, Aaron carried the lessons of the forest, the stars, and the Dominion in his mind. He knew that humanity's potential was far greater than anyone had imagined. With Mira's guidance and the settlers' ingenuity, the colony of Vera had survived its first trial. And somewhere in the shadows of the forest, Mira watched, knowing that humans were capable of remarkable things, and that together, they could face any challenge the universe might bring. The days after the Dominion retreat were filled with quiet relief, but Aaron knew that peace was only temporary. He walked through the village, watching children run through the fields, farmers tending their crops and neighbors exchanging greetings. Everything seemed ordinary, yet beneath the calm surface, the knowledge of what had occurred and the secret he carried made every step heavier, more significant. Humanity had survived its first encounter with an alien force, but the true test had just begun. Aaron returned to the forest clearing where Mira waited. Her presence had become familiar and reassuring, yet still mysterious. She stood silently, watching him approach, her eyes reflecting the sunlight through the trees. Aaron felt a mix of admiration and determination. Mira had taught him so much, but he realized that the responsibility now rested on humans as well. Knowledge was powerful, but only when combined with action. "You have done well," Mira said softly. "The Dominion has left, but that does not mean they are gone. You and your people have proven that humans can adapt and survive. That is rare in the galaxy. Many species would have failed under pressure, but your unpredictability is your strength. Aaron nodded. I understand now. We survived because we were clever, because we worked together, and because we learned from you. But what comes next? How do we prepare for the future? Mira smiled faintly. The future is full of possibilities. My people feared humans would be too weak or too slow. But you have proven that humans can grow beyond expectation. You must continue to learn, continue to adapt, and share knowledge carefully. The galaxy is vast and challenges will come from many directions. But with preparation, humans can face them. Over the following weeks, Aran and Mira worked closely to strengthen the village's resilience. They improved the colony's systems using the knowledge of energy sources Mira had shared. Simple devices were built to gather and store energy efficiently, and techniques were taught to purify water, improve crops, and maintain resources more effectively. Aaron guided a few trusted settlers in these methods, always careful not to reveal Mira's true identity. The settlers noticed subtle changes. Fields grew more fertile, machines worked better, and problems that had once seemed impossible were solved quickly. Though they did not know why, the village flourished. Aaron felt pride, but he also felt a growing sense of responsibility. Every improvement, every lesson applied was part of preparing for challenges beyond Vera. One evening, as the sun dipped below the mountains, Mira brought Aaron to the ridge overlooking the village. The sky was painted with orange and pink, and the stars began to appear, faint at first, then brighter as darkness fell. Mira pointed to the stars above, her eyes reflecting their light. Look at them, she said. Each one is a world, a possibility. Humans have always dreamed of reaching the stars, but most have never imagined how far you could go. The Dominion believes they are the only power in the galaxy, but humans are different. You can think, adapt, and create. That makes you dangerous in ways they cannot predict. Aaron followed her gaze, feeling a sense of awe. He realized that the village of Vera, small and isolated, was only the beginning. Humanity had the potential to explore, survive, and thrive far beyond what anyone had imagined. And Mira was a guide, showing him how to harness that potential carefully, wisely, and without unnecessary risk. We should share more, Aran said. Not with everyone, but with those who can learn. If more people understand these methods, our colony will be stronger. And if the Dominion returns, we can be ready. Mira nodded. Yes, but remember, knowledge must be given carefully. Not everyone can understand, and not everyone can be trusted. Humans are remarkable, but even remarkable people can make mistakes. Teach slowly, teach wisely, and always watch for unexpected consequences. Over the next weeks, Aaron began training select villagers in advanced survival techniques, energy management, and observation skills. They practiced reading the land, noticing patterns in the weather, and understanding the hidden resources of their environment. The settlers learned quickly, motivated by subtle guidance and the improvements they saw around them. At the same time, Aaron continued to study the star maps with Mira. He learned to recognize distant planets, detect potential hazards, and plan routes for future exploration. Mira shared stories of other civilizations, some advanced and some fallen, and Aran saw that humans had the chance to become something unique in the galaxy. Survival alone was not enough. They could grow, explore, and influence the universe in ways no one had predicted. One day, while testing a new energy collection system near the forest, Aaron noticed something unusual. A small scout ship from the Dominion appeared on the horizon, its sensors scanning the ground. Aaron's heart raced, but he remained calm. Mira had taught him to anticipate danger, to think ahead, and to act strategically. He signaled to the villagers quietly, and they moved to positions he had prepared earlier, ready to execute diversions if necessary. The scout searched for a time, but it could not locate Mira or detect the hidden systems. Aaron guided the distraction using reflective surfaces, noise, and careful misdirection. The Dominion ship eventually left, confused by the humans' ingenuity. Aaron realized that humans could outsmart even the most advanced technology if they acted together and used their minds creatively. That night, Aaron and Mira reflected on the event from the ridge. Your people are capable of extraordinary things, Mira said. They are brave, curious, and adaptable. These qualities will allow humanity to survive in ways other species cannot. But the future will demand more. You must continue to grow, learn, and prepare. Aaron felt a renewed sense of purpose. He understood that Mira's presence was more than a secret. It was an opportunity. Humanity could become a force capable of facing interstellar challenges. The lessons they had learned were only the beginning. With careful guidance, clever thinking, and the courage to act, humans could overcome threats that seemed impossible. The village continued to thrive, each day strengthening its foundations. Fields produced more food, water systems ran efficiently, and the settlers learned to work together in new ways. Aaron continued teaching, always careful to preserve the secret of Mira's identity. He saw their potential and knew that humans could grow beyond the limitations of their isolated world. One clear night, as the stars shone brightly above, Mira spoke again. "Aaron, humans have a legend in your world. Stories of species who rise to challenges, who endure when all seems lost. I believe your people can be that species. You are not bound by rules or fear. You can think, adapt, and create. That is why I stay. That is why I trust you to guide them." Aaron nodded. He understood the gravity of her trust and the responsibility it carried. He also understood that humans with guidance, intelligence, and courage could face the universe with hope and determination. The Dominion had been a test, but it was only the beginning. Humanity's potential stretched across the stars, waiting to be realized. As dawn broke, Aaron looked over the village one last time before returning to the forest. The settlers continued their work, unaware of the larger world and the secrets that had protected them. Mira stood beside him, her eyes glowing faintly in the early light. Together they watched the horizon, knowing that the galaxy was vast, full of challenges and full of opportunity. Aaron felt pride, responsibility, and hope. Humanity had survived, learned, and grown. With Mira's guidance and the settlers' ingenuity, the colony of Vera had proven that humans were capable of remarkable things. And as the sun rose higher, Aaron understood that their story was just beginning. Humanity's reach would extend far beyond their world, guided by curiosity, courage, and the unyielding spirit that made them extraordinary. The alliance between human and alien had formed, built on trust, knowledge, and shared purpose. Together they had faced impossible odds and emerged stronger. Aaron knew that the lessons learned, the skills acquired, and the secret kept would shape the future of his people. Humanity had begun its journey toward greatness, and with allies like Mira, there was no limit to what they could achieve. From that moment on, Aaron carried the understanding that survival was not merely living but growing, learning, and preparing. Humanity's place among the stars was no longer a dream. It was a challenge they were ready to meet. The Dominion had retreated, but the universe awaited, and humans, unpredictable and resourceful, were ready to face it with courage, intelligence, and unwavering determination.